Hello, welcome to my music review show. I'm sick right now, but that won't stop me from reviewing a album that came out recently called Susage, Sauce, Susage, Sus, Susage by kimsumass. This is a experimental electronic project of this artist. A lot of techno influences. Let's get right into it. So track one is called Elusive Yellow Composition Book on Kansas. Quite like this track. It has sound collage at the beginning of it. It's very interesting. Sample choices. A lot of interesting synths. And then it goes into this kind of percussive, I want to say dark ambient, but or industrial sort of thing. It's kind of hard to explain. Um, Quite like that. It has this very interesting melody, kind of caps off the track. Next track, I Am Jealous of Andy Stott at Belfast. Quite like this track. Has some pretty good atmosphere, some interesting percussion. The melody kind of morphs halfway through the song, and it's pretty nice. Next track, Fucking Jealous. It's kind of a calming track, like it's like very murky, and it seems very complex. I quite like it. Next track is called Kaepernick. It's very kind of reminds me of Autechre. Quite like this track. Maybe it's a bit on the short side though. Next track is Zed. Kind of feels like an interlude. I don't really know what to say about it. And next track is 3D Butterfly. This track is pretty wild, eclectic. It's got like this weird kind of cartoonish club vibe to it, like cartoonish club music. Like very exaggerated and like kind of surreal, and it just goes all over the place. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. Next track is called I'm Looking at a Celery Shade While Fasting. I quite like the first half of this track. It's got some interesting sounds in it, interesting melody, and then the second half kind of goes into this weird rhythmic part. I don't think I like it as much. Voice Training 2, kind of a weird techno-ish track where there's this sound, kind of reminds me of like a clock ticking, and then like this, just like a kind of like a Kaepernick. It's like a very repetitive track. Um, I like it. I think I would like it, but like I've listened to this album a few times and I don't know how I feel about Voice Training 2. It's like an unusual track. So that's my opinion of that. Steve McQueen on the internet. This track feels kind of collagey also. Has like this very mood shifting intro, and then these vocal samples. It's like a lot of noise comes in, like harsh, kind of like microphone like feedback, kind of staticky sounds with like vocal samples and kind of like these like weird drum sounds, probably beatboxing sounds or something, form these weird rhythms. It's a very interesting track. I like it. Face mask. How long does it take to buy a Goose Elden? Is the next track. Um, it it's kind of like a techno track, kind of. Um, there's this melody that comes in, like it's like drums, and then like just like a simple section of like a synth, like do do do, and but it kind of sounds like a guitar, and like the rhythms are very interesting. Like it feels like this track, like the first half of it was like really vigorously planned out. How each rhythm would kind of complement each other while being different. Um, and then it kind of goes into this weird like OPN, One O Tricks Point Never ish, like ambient, like synths that are like kind of noisy and like um, like bit crushed or something, and it's pretty interesting. Um, Next track, No Ordinary Bean. It's very interesting track. Like it's got some really interesting percussion. It's really quiet. So was the track Said, but this track, No Ordinary Bean, I liked a lot more. Um, the samples in it sound really familiar. Like one of them sounded like Link from like Ocarina of Time, quite like the that track. Next track is called Planar. This track has got like this tribal drum sound, and then it goes into like ambience, which is pretty interesting. Next track is called Baby Deft. This one is definitely like an interlude. It's like hard drum beat to like this weird sample, like a baby. I'm sorry, I'm sick. I just anyway, I'm too lazy to edit that out. Sorry. Anyway, the next track is called Malachi. This track has a lot going on to it. Oh, this track is called Malachi. She hears and looks. Oh, bless her. This track has a lot going on. It starts with like this repeated, hard-hitting synth melody that kind of sounds distant. It's like da 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 da, but it sounds like it's further away. And then uh, like all these melodies keep appearing and disappearing. And then like you think it's about to settle in with this one melody it's got going, with like this Western vibe, like Western, like a Western film or something. But then it goes into like this jazzy melody. Kind of reminds me of like the Caretaker's album, uh, the one with like the ball for the album art with the matchstick in it. Next track is a Bistro at the Zoo. This track is pretty interesting. I don't really have anything to say about it. It sounds kind of weird. Like, not sure how I feel about that one. Toy Song, that one's kind of weird too. Like, sounds like a toy keyboard is used in it. And like, it sounds kind of wonky, I guess. And like, maybe not a good way, but like it's at least interesting, so I'll give it that. Next we have 1427. This track is amazing. Like, sounds like something that would be in like a really cool movie. Um, like it's just like it's got all this atmosphere to it. Like, just like just blows you away at like how atmospheric it sounds. Like, kind of a lot of atmospheric tracks kind of give you a very specific visual, but I feel like this one is like maybe like a building that like some parts of it are organic, while other parts of it are like metallic. It's like it's a really strange track. I'd recommend it to basically anyone. Next track is called Or Never Look. Uh, this is a really weird track. Like the album gets kind of like hard to listen to at this point. Um, because it's like hard to even explain what's going on in these tracks. Like, let's see. I'm gonna play it for a second. Yeah, it has like this weird, like, it's got these weird slow rhythms and like all this noise in the background. Like, it's a really moody track. Like, I never really heard anything quite like it. And then the next track is called Into It Noni. And this track is like, starts out with like the most minimal percussion ever. And then like gets into like this kind of light techno rhythm to like random melodies. And then just like, and then there's like a surprise, I'm just gonna say, in the track. And it's just like really strange. It's almost like transcendent, but not even transcendent. It's like someone like being pushed to the limit for like, I don't know, like some kind of ritual or surgery or something. They have to like hold on, like, or like chemo or something. Just like someone going through like a lot of like overwhelming experience, but like someone whispering in their ear to hold on. Um, I'm just kind of personifying how the track made me feel, like with this surprise part. Like, I don't want to say specifically what happens, even though I kind of gave it away anyway. Next track. I don't know how to pronounce this next track, but I'll try. I think it's a Fulp Missold Shufa's Wrecked. Maybe it's a Fu Promised Shufa's Wrecked. I don't know. This track has some weird rhythms in it, and at the beginning anyway, and then it kind of becomes ambient. It's a really weird track, even weirder than the last two, but it was a good one. And then lastly we have XI, I guess, and like, or maybe it's XEAXI or AI. I don't know. This track is the longest track. It's the last track on the album. It's 18 minutes long. It's just kind of like these synths kind of just like noodling everywhere. Like a really controlled and deliberate way, though. There's like a lot of delay in it, too. it's pretty good. I think it's a fitting end for the album, to just kind of stick with one sound for so long. And then there's like a bonus track, um, which I can see why it's a bonus track. It's a little silly. So it's my breakdown of all of these tracks. Like, they feel cohesive enough. Um, and I'd say it's quite good. I mean, is there anything I want to add about this album? Like, because it's all instrumental, like, I'm not really sure what to take away from it is, um, or like how you'd listen to this, like, if you're looking at music in like a functional way, like I use this type of music in this kind of context. Maybe this kind of music would just be like introspective music. Like if you're drawing something and you like needed like randomness, like inspiration, this would be like music to do it to. Um, so at least I've figured out kind of impromptu the application for this sort of album. But yeah, I quite liked it, I'd say. But mm, I don't know, like some of the tracks weren't that good. Like maybe like four of them or something. So I'd say I'd give this album a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. But even though I'm just giving that as kind of like an average for like how many good tracks there are and how many, or you know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to come up with a total of like how much of it was like really good. And 75% of an album being really good is quite good. So um, I would recommend this album to anyone who's curious to check it out, or looking for something different, or looking to listen to something while doing art. Well, and that concludes my review. I'm going to link the album in the description, and if you like this review, click like and subscribe if you feel like it. No pressure. Like, I'm just doing these videos for myself, unless people care enough. Anyway, peace.